Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 102. My name is Patrick, and I'm joined by Saif. Say hi.
Yeah, hello?
And Steve. Say hi.
Dickory dickory dock.
What's on the clock?
What's on the clock?
Yeah?
Don't say mouse. We already know that one.
Well,
Give us
the
the
mouse
sequel.
ran up the clock, so this is a house.
The house ran up the clock.
Yeah. It's like Big Ben.
Like the metaphorical clock. Like time's running out, the house is running up the clock.
No, as in like a house.
How do you
grew
know my
legs.
landlord was coming down on me?
The house grew legs and went up Big Ben, so the house went up the clock.
Ah, I see. At least it's just the landlord coming for you. I've got Atlantis coming for me. Auckland being overdue for another 1 in 100 year flood from the we haven't had one in 6 months, so already hearing the rain pick up in the background. We will see how we go.
Look, the big guy in the sky just saw you guys and thought you needed another bath.
Yeah, you're lucky. You get it over and done with now, and then you'll be like, no rain for the next 600 years.
I don't understand. I'm not a Smash player. I showered. I don't need more shower.
No, not you specifically, but the entire city of Auckland.
Like an Ark situation? Like we're only saving 2 of every animal?
Yeah, exactly. Except it's 2 of every podcast host.
2 of every podcast host. So Pat's hosted. I've hosted. Oh, sorry.
Well, here's
No
the
more
funny
space
thing.
for
I'm
editors.
the editing.
Are you?
I get to sit.
Why are we still? I thought we just published this raw.
I mean, I don't get paid to not do that.
We thank you for your service. So because Seth doesn't edit it, all the times that my voice becomes farm animal noises, that's actually genuinely me just doing farm animal noises.
Crazy how good you are at that.
Yeehaw!
Hopefully I'm not sounding too nasally, still a little on the sick side, and sick of this weather, am I right? But I'm gonna quickly smack you guys with an out of the blue Steamcharts just because it's quick and I know that
huge.
Yeah.
3.
Yep. Interesting.
Look at this host
Seth,
remembering
you
we
wanna,
do this game.
Seth, you want to beat out 3?
Yeah.
I haven't given you the prompt. I'm just wondering if you want if you want a chance to beat Steve.
Yeah, I think I want a chance to beat Steve.
Oh yeah, what are you gonna go with?
The hammer.
This is like,
I'll beat Steve with a hammer.
yeah, well, I'm going to beat you with the number 3.
I like how this has slowly devolved into the bit of why was 3 afraid of 4, and it's because 4 was wielding a hammer.
That's a good joke as well.
I put some pipes in mine, and now it's become a hunting horn.
Nice. Remember to keep it sharp. Best hunting horns only play sharps.
Do you reckon that when you do sharpen a hunting horn, it's like the bit that goes into your mouth that's really sharp?
Possibly. I
You're
mean,
just
you do
polishing
also
the
have
pipes.
to. You do also have to sharpen a hammer, so you know there is some weirdness there. No, more seriously, have you guys heard of Lethal Company?
I have.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I've heard a couple of things. All companies are lethal when you think about it. We're all slaves to the cog in the machine, but I get the feeling you're talking about a video game.
I am this time. Well, I don't know about you, but I had not heard of it until about 3 days ago.
I heard about it maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks.
Have I heard of it? I'm not sure. I get the feeling it might be like a Left 4 Dead clone. Am I right in the ballpark? Or am I getting confused with something else?
There are Left 4 Dead elements in it, but I wouldn't call it a clone.
Okay.
Anyway, I haven't played it, but it does look very interesting. I think, based on trajectories, it might be becoming a bit of an Among Us type operation. So,
Among Us.
Yeah, there we go. He said the line. We're good. We can wrap up 102.
Yeah, so it came out just a little bit before Halloween as well, like a week before Halloween, so it's still fairly new.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to know what's even more crazy, it went from 4,000 peak players in October, which, if it was just before Halloween, is only a couple days, so nothing crazy, to it is now in the top 10. And so the quick game I want to ask you guys is just Where on the board? Throw out a number between 1 and 10. Nice and simple.
3. Already did.
3? Yeah, you already did? Okay, cool. Seth?
Well, now I'm scared that it is going to be 3 or 4. So, yeah, I'll just go with 4.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Well, congrats, you won. You beat Steve to death with a hammer. Yeah, I was shocked. I was gonna go, oh, let's look at this quaint little game which is gaining popularity. No, it's top 10 on Steamcharts. That's insane to me.
It's also super cheap, which is why people can just get in on it really easily. Like, it's $14.50 Australian.
I think it's like $14.99 New Zealand, which I think is a scam for you guys. It's so currently
you're not paying full price for a video game, are you?
122,820 players as of me, current players as of me looking at this. Peak player count 239,000, which it's really funny if you look at the last 30 days, because it's the only one in the top 10 that ramps up. The others, like Counter-Strike 2, is just, constantly has that many people playing. Likewise with most of the Steam charts top 10. And then Lethal Company is just a triangle. No, I just thought it was interesting. I've seen a few people play it. Donkey actually released a video about it today. Not one of my favorite videos of his, I'll be honest.
It goes to like 14 minutes or something. I was going to watch it, but
there are bits of it that are funny, but he's got better ones. But no, Atriarch playing it was quite entertaining. Saw that yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on it. It is early access, as Seth correctly points out. Anyway, fun Steam charts out of the way. Other than not playing Lethal Company, what else have you guys been up to? Steve, what have you been up to?
Oh, thank you. I thought you were just going to let us fight over who gets to speak first. But a couple months ago, I started reading a very niche book called Dune. So naturally, I watched the movie on the weekend, which means naturally a new Dune game came out last week, I believe, last Wednesday. Dune: The Spice Wars. That is, I got to say, one of the most Duniest games I've ever played. Some might say the only Duniest game I've ever played. But look, the important thing is that the real Dune was the sands we made along the way.
But the important thing is if you're going to have fun or not.
Oh, I guess it sort of depends.
I'm sorry, Seth. Do you think they were having fun in the movie Dune?
I haven't seen it, so I can't say yet.
Well, do you think they're having fun in the book version of Dune?
I haven't read it, so I can't say.
Well, get reading. It's a good book. It's a good book. It takes a while.
Haven't read it or just can't read?
Patrick, I plead the fifth.
We don't have the fifth in Australia. You have to go to the beach.
Yeah, well, I'm not uploading this in America.
What? What does that even mean? You can't.
I will simply send my VPN to America.
Yeah, that doesn't help you. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
And if you want to set your VPN to America, oh man, I wish we got sponsored so bad. Yeah, okay, cool. That got weird quickly. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Seth, other than VPN updating, what have you been up to?
The Dragon Ball FighterZ beta came out for Rollback, so I gave that a shot.
Great, more weirdness. Awesome.
Besides that, I've been busy overhauling things for the podcast and haven't done anything more productive than that.
We thank you for your service.
I see.
What about you, Patrick?
What have I been up to? So I'm going to preface this by saying I haven't actually played it yet, but someone put out a poll of which Far Cry game was the best.
Ooh.
3-1 by a wild margin.
Yeah.
And it reminded me that I have 3. I've played it a little bit, but I never finished it. And it's the perfect sort of game, at least how old it is now, for my Asus ROG Ally. So I've downloaded it. I'm hoping to set homework for myself over Christmas to actually get stuck in a bit. I got, I don't know, 5 something hours in last time, I think, but really not enough to it's an Ubisoft game. It's got a lot of meat, in there.
Well, and I think it's important to note as well that Far Cry 3 is the people only say it's the best because it was the first that did that. The Ubisoft got to a tower, open up more of the map, bit of crafting to increase your supplies and that kind of thing. Like, people do really like it, but I think that's because it was fresh when it came out.
It's just like Persona, where the series starts at the number 3. Unlike Half-Life, which is struggling to get to the number 3.
I've actually played a fair amount of Far Cry 2, which is probably the only Far Cry game that I think I've put time into. I don't think I've played
Far Cry 2 is better.
I own Far Cry, which one's America, 5 or 4? 5, I
That's
think.
5.
5.
Yeah.
4's the cold one.
I own Far Cry 5, shout out to Humble, but I have not played it.
I played about an hour of Far Cry 5 and then I dropped it.
I've got a ton of time into Far Cry 2, and the thing that turned me off to Far Cry 2, funnily enough, is the same reason why I think I might like Far Cry 3, in that I really don't like games where you can go through and clear outposts and then you leave and come back and then the outpost is like back to how it was.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to drive through an outpost to get to like the next mission, and you go through an outpost, clear it out, fine, and then on the way back from the mission, all the guys are like, "Hey, you killed the guys that were last here. Prepare to die." And it slowed me down so much. But
very
still stuck a
criticism.
good, I don't know, 10, maybe even 10 to 15 hours in that. Yeah, I for its time quite enjoyed it. I think it probably has aged a bit, at least graphically. Mechanics might still be up, but I'm talking about Far Cry. It's not even something that I've played this week. No, the only thing which actually, you know what, I will talk about this. Boom.
All right, yeah, we love to hear it.
Yeah, it's not Far Cry though, it's so much worse. I don't really know why. So should start this by saying Advent of Code is on. I've been doing Advent of Code for bits of the last week, which, if you don't know, is like a series of coding challenges. One comes out a day, way more fun than it sounds. And so while doing these coding challenges, I decided to let Netflix roll the dice for me as to what to play. And two things have come up. One, Zom 100, which I've seen a couple episodes of and quite enjoy. Won't really talk about yet because I want to finish that before chatting. The other one, which I've seen all current episodes of, and the finale is in 2 days or so, is Squid Game: The Challenge.
That's a real life Squid Game, isn't it? The one that completely misses the point
Squid
of the
Game
show.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
The one where they copied Mr. Beast, that copied the show.
South Korean.
And I've seen a lot of people talk about how bad it is. I'm not going to say it's particularly good, but I also, probably like everyone, don't really care enough about reality TV for it to be good or bad. Like, if you're watching reality TV, I don't think there's ever been reality TV that I've watched and gone, that was good reality TV. You know what I mean? So I just had it on as background noise just because I was intrigued. What this has been like a hyped Netflix show for a while. What is it actually like? And there was all that controversy around the filming conditions, and someone, I think, like nearly broke their leg or something on the set, and other bits and pieces. So the broad strokes takeaway, they do the American Idol thing, which I think is just funny. Of anytime there is some sort of conflict or they're not sure if they're going to make it through, they go, "Tell us about your backstory and how many dying relatives you're going to save with the $4.56 million. And it just wears a little thin because everyone that's there is competing with that in mind. I was kind of part of me, whether there was someone that recorded like this and they just cut out of the final show, I'm not sure, but because they didn't do the backstory of everyone. Obviously, there's 456 people competing, and they knocked out however many in the first game. But I really wanted one of them to just be like, "No, I just want the money. I just want to blow it on like Lamborghinis and hookers and cocaine." Instead, it's
Nobody
like,
will
I want
ever
to
send
donate.
that.
I want
Nobody
to
will ever
donate like
say
a
that.
chunk of this to like kidney donation research and like help my family out with this, that, and the other thing. And all of it's designed to tug at your heartstrings. But I don't know.
Dude, I just want the money to live a comfortable life.
Kinda, yeah. It's like I don't have any like big plans or anything with it. I just want to like not have to worry about money. You know? I just want a vibe.
I would like to use the money to make content like this.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
So that was one side of it, which is not a bad thing. Every reality show does it, but it's just kind of bland. I don't know, in one ear, out the other. The other bit, which I'm kind of curious to actually get your guys' take on this. Obviously, and I say obvious because it wasn't obvious to me initially, they don't actually kill the people that fail the challenges. See, I thought with so much money on the line that they would, but no, they say that you're eliminated, and there's a little die pack that explodes in their chest when they say that they're eliminated. Boo, boring. I think they were told to fall over or play dead while filming, because some of them just sort of slowly fall into this death pose and then stay there, and you literally see them moving and blinking and stuff. It's really funny.
That's lame. If they were going to copy Squid Games, they should have gone the entire mile and actually killed the people, but then hammered up on the edit to go, no, they're not actually dead, they're just acting.
Actually just executing one of them in cold blood. What was I going to say? So much like the Mr. Beast one, they did do the magically fading into the floor of the glass bridge thing. Of they fall through the floor and they just disappear. You never hear them hit anything or do anything. They just fade out of existence. The couple of things that are interesting though. I don't know if this had to be based on Squid Game to, like, what am I trying to say? Squid Game was all about people fighting each other for the benefit of rich people, and the irony, I'm sure, is not lost on Netflix as to that is literally what the challenge is, which is just, that's its own whole thing. But I feel like you could replace the setting of this with any other reality TV show and just say, hey, there's a $4.56 million prize pot, and it would probably play out pretty similarly. The only real difference is that you know what some of the challenges are. And I can't help but wonder what, like...
It's because Squid Game's popular, and so they're just cashing in on the IP since they can.
Like, I know that deep down that's what it is, but it just sort of... I don't know, it gives me that weird feeling of, I don't really know why this exists, other than being a cash grab. And from how bad I've seen everyone say it is, I'm actually have no idea what sort of numbers it's pulling on Netflix. And because it's a streaming service, no one will know what sort of numbers it pulls on Netflix because...
except for the producers and actors who are all under NDA to not talk about it.
Yeah, we can secretly show you the numbers and then you can't tell anyone else about it. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it just seems like a weird thing to do. Not only is it entirely on brand with literally what the point of Squid Game was initially, but the fact that, because the whole thing is like, oh, it's drama and there's this, that, and the other thing. Literally the point of every reality show ever. I don't know if you swap. I don't watch any reality TV. Shit.
Let's say Fear Factor, for example.
Okay, yeah, okay. Survivor was the other one that I finally just remembered as well. Say you swap that to a $4.5 million prize pot. Is what you're watching really going to change that much? I would argue probably not. And yeah, then they do the whole everything needs to be about some
Fear Factor the
dying
one done
relative.
by Joe Rogan?
Yeah, it was.
One of the initial series, something was, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's just that sort of picked into my mind. Carry on.
Don't know if it still is. I assume not.
I don't think it's going anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, play on.
Yeah. We're down to the final three. I guess they've put a couple interesting moments in, but for the amount of content that the show is, you could boil down the interesting parts to maybe 30 or 40 minutes out of the 7-something episodes, each one kind of in the 50-ish minute ballpark. It's kind of nice just having something on in the background. Like, by comparison, did not want to put Zom 100 on in the background because I have been actively watching that.
Now, Patrick, this is going to be a very stupid question knowing you, but I need to make sure for the audience's sake, Are you watching the live action version or are you watching the anime version?
Anime.
Oh, I thought you would have been the live action version on this.
Did not realize there was a live action one.
They were both running at the same time, I think.
Interesting.
I became aware of Zom 100, and it was one of those things where it's like, oh, so this is a thing that got an adaptation as an anime, but also there's an adaptation of on Netflix as a live action series. And it seems like they were both running at the same time. Very weird.
Weird. No, a friend of mine said that she really enjoyed watching it, and so it was sort of on the back burner for a while, and then was like, oh, fuck it, yeah, put on the first episode, and then this is actually baller as shit. So it's quite fun. I guess to round off me chatting about the random things I've been watching, Rick and Morty latest season also caught up on. There's still a few episodes to come out for that.
Has the voice actor change gotten you?
No, I haven't minded. Like, you notice it a little bit, but then, I don't know, you just stop caring. For me, it's not so much the voice actor change, it's that whether the format feels tired or if the writing, or if I'm just more used to the writing now, but I think of the 6 or 7 episodes that are out currently, one of them is a clear standout highlight for me as just an excellent episode from the last few seasons. But then, because I've been watching Rick and Morty on Netflix, and then I guess looking up or getting served Rick and Morty shorts on YouTube, it's been showing me little bits of old Rick and Morty. I've been laughing harder at the older Rick and Morty than I have at the recent stuff, and I feel like that has to be a writing thing. I don't know. It's overall as a season, that one episode so far at least, that one episode excellent, but the season as a whole, kind of mid. Anyway, that's what I've been up to with my week. I figure I'll just slime it in here, and then we can all move on with our lives because
I've been meaning to go back to Rick and Morty. It seems like what was the last? Not the last one I just showed. The one before that I watched. I watched half of it on the plane, to be honest, and I thought it was okay. I sort of like how they're doing a more like story themed, not story themed, but like narrative driven. It's like, it's not just one episode that exists in their own continuity. There's other things going on with his best friend, the Birdman, or whatever it was.
It's never that it's bad. It's just kind of like I sort of put it in like a similar thing as Family Guy, which is you can put on any episode and it's fine. But
you'll smile, but you won't laugh. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then you look at the kind of golden age, wherever that is for you, because everyone has it as a slightly different spot.
Season 6.
And Family Guy or Rick and Morty?
Yeah, Family Guy. Oh, yeah. Actually, like pretty much Family Guy is like consistently all right. There's like a weird seasons 12 to 15 because I went through a stage last year of just like watching an episode, like pretty much a day, just because I could. Then yeah, the seasons like 12 to 18 are like pretty like mid, but like before that, you can't go wrong. Like it's funny and it's really clever, but some of the jokes are really dated. And like the animation before it gets after season 4, because it gets cancelled in season 4. And then the animation changes and it becomes better. But and there's that criticism that it becomes too flashbacky, which is very true for some episodes. Some episodes it's like, I don't know what the story is. This was a flashback. And then they're sort of making fun of those flashbacks, the cutaway gags. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty, it's the junk food of TV shows.
Yeah. And I guess, in a previous time, you had to have a high IQ to enjoy Rick and Morty and whatever the rest of that shitty copy pasta is.
That was right after season 2, waiting for season 3. And that's when I fell off the show because God, it was embarrassing to see the Rick and Morty fan base acting that way.
It was the fans,
I dropped out of the show out of cringe of the people associated with that watching that show.
Yeah,
dies of cringe.
Yeah. But it's not to say that the current season isn't good. I'm just saying, episode for episode, like you could put it in the same boat as recent South Park. Recent Family Guy for the bits that I've seen. I haven't actually seen that much recent Family Guy. Of there was a time when you watched it and every episode of a season just felt like it was fucking magic and just super clever and awesome. And then now you have the odd banger, like, as I say, one of the episodes, absolute heater, 10 out of 10. But just overall, the average episode has fallen off from my memories of earlier seasons. That's all I'm trying to say. So it's still like a solid 6 or 7. It's just previous seasons were punching at like most episodes being like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah, it's a gradual drop off, but it's more.
And that seeing that has hit me more than realizing the voice actor has changed. Anyway, though, from the dunes of whatever Rick and Morty planet they're on to the dunes of whatever the Dune planet is. Tell me about Dune.
Say the whole word. No, I'm joking. I'm just revving you up. So it's called Dune: The Spice Wars. And do you guys know anything about this game?
The game? No. I have seen the new remake film Part 1 thing. That's the level of Dune knowledge that I have. Never read the books.
The only thing I know about spices is that's what England tried to steal from India, and then they refused to put it in their food anyway.
Too spicy. But so
tomato sauce is too spicy for some white people.
That's very true. Very, very true. It is spicy. But anyway, so what type of games? So this is probably more of a question for Pat as well. You've seen the first part of the movie. What type of game do you think would be made out of that universe? Racing with the ornithopters, the thopters?
No, like Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? Boat racing. Boat and jet ski specific.
They should have called it Dune buggies.
No, I assume I have it in the same vein as I know there was a Mad Max game that came out after the movie, and that I think people actually quite enjoyed. I never played it. But
I really wanted to get that game and I never did. I heard really good things about it. Where that's sort of like a third-person shooter. But
that was kind of Saints Row-y, I guess you just call it a general like action adventure. I assume that would be the sort of thing of not necessarily based on the story, but at least based on the setting. Large kind of wastelandy type thing to explore, probably kill a sandworm. Maybe it's like Mass Effect, taking out a Thresher more. I don't know, but that would be my guess. How correct would I be?
Yeah, no, you're completely wrong. It's a 4X game. It's a real-time strategy game, but it takes elements from like turn-based real-time strategy games. Sorry, I say like turn-based strategy games like your Civ series.
What about cringe strategy games?
No, that's more like Fire Emblem.
Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to say the J slur. And then there are also elements of like your StarCraft and your Halo Wars, those type of elements. But it is at a much slower pace. I feel that this game would be a lot better if it was turn-based instead of the real-time strategy aspect. Like, for example, especially in just to sort of give a basic overview of how this game works is you pick one of, I think there's like 4 or 5 factions. And depending on the different game mode, you can be in like a game where there's only 4 characters, I guess, whether it's me and 3 NPCs or friends or whatever. Or you could play like a bigger one where there's like 16 characters. And I think it's important to note that I've only played the one with 4 different. So just me against 3 others. And that might change my experience. I don't really see how, because just I could see it being a lot more not complicated, but it would just be a bit longer and a lot more spinning plates to balance if you are playing those bigger game modes. So essentially you're dropped off, you've got like one city, and then you have to go and capture another city. And by capturing another city, I mean you literally have to build a couple of units. You've got to find this village that's just like, it's from a non-playable character faction, doesn't belong to anybody, they spawn all the time, and you have to take over that, and then that becomes like one of your cities, and that's sort of how you expand. Like there's no creating your own base. There is no getting a settler unit to a certain part on the map and then being like, oh, this one's got really good bonuses, I'm going to do it here. No, it doesn't work like that. There's a finite amount of places you can be. And each of the villages that you take over have different bonuses that they give you depending on where they are. And the most important thing is, and it's very thematic with Dune, is spice. Spice controls how much money you get. You have to make a spice tax pretty much every, I think it's every in-game 6 months or whatever. And you can use spice for like trading and stuff. And so it really does fit the theme of Dune really well in terms of how to play the game. And the game itself is very much like I can definitely tell this is based off the Dune franchise. Like the music is very reminiscent of the movie, and because I watched the movie on the weekend after playing a little bit of this game, I wanted to see if there were those sort of similarities, and there are, like the big space opera type of vibes, sort of the techno beat, not really a techno beat, but like sort of the undercurrent of sound that is in that movie is very much apparent in this game. And to the buildings as well, the landscapes, the graphics, very, very much feels like they've done the source material very well, and that is good to see. The gameplay, on the other hand, is very, I think it's basic. While it does sort of capture the surface level stuff of Dune, in terms of the design, that's pretty easy, and that is what it is. But it's the undercurrent things of Dune, like you've got the weird sorcery from the Bene Gesserit, the whole things with the Fremen and all that kind of stuff. And while the Fremen do exist in this, they're a playable faction, and there are these weird little hideaways that sort of spawn, and you can sort of trade with them. It doesn't really get to them being this undercurrent, these masters of this domain, and I think that's kind of where this all kind of falls apart. Like they've obviously just sort of had a 4X game, a 4X real-time strategy game. They've slapped the Dune theme over it, and then they tried to make it kind of work, like as opposed to let's make something work that's uniquely Dune, or let's make something that is really good and then paint it with the Dune colors a bit later. So it does do a little bit both, but it doesn't really do either well. Like because you need so much spice to be able to do anything, spice becomes the most important material for you to get. But spice is a finite resource, and to get spice, you have to either expand your domain and capture a village that has spice, or attack a rival faction and then take their spice. And that kind of works for the first, let's say, half of the game, all the different player characters. And I was playing on medium, and the AI was like fucking dog shit. Like to the point, like I'd take one of their cities that was on spice, and then I would that would mean we'd declare war. And the second that I declare war, and I take this city, it's now my city, I'm like, all right, cool, let's propose a truce. And like, yeah, cool, truce agreed. They kind of forget all the misgivings, and you can keep doing that, and that's pretty fun. But anyway, yeah, so you're controlling all this spice, you're trying to get as much as you can, and in the early game, you sort of get stuck with this, okay, I know this spice is unoccupied, it's easier for me to go get it, I'm going to go get it, I'm going to set up, and then I'm just going to have a bunch of spice. And that kind of, until like about 75%, there's kind of really nothing going on. That just felt like very boring. And I kind of, because spice is really the only resource, like there is like currency that you can use to buy things. There is like plasticrete that you can use to like build different buildings and something. But those really are secondary, like compared to spice. And even those, like I think I had 5,000 plasticrete at the end of it, which doesn't really matter because you only need like 50 or 100 of this to build any building. So I just stop using it in the late game. But it does become a sense of, okay, I'm set up. There's no need for me to expand. Like there is this weird mechanic with this. It's like a council that happens every 2 months. And all you're doing is just voting on different things, whether that's prices are going up for something, everyone's being rewarded for water, or something else that's going on. And it just kind of feels like that just feels like it's slowing the game down. Like I never really got anything to vote through, or the times when I did vote through things, it didn't really matter. But I had a good time. I played one game. I probably went for 5 or 6 hours, and then I'm like, okay. I didn't really know what I was doing at the start because the tutorial is dog shit. It doesn't teach you really anything, which is a bit of a shame because there is a layer of depth here that is there, but it's just a shame the tutorial doesn't give it to you. And in the middle game, I was having a lot of fun sort of setting up, getting set up, putting all my pieces on the board. And then late game, it's like, okay, there's no reason for me to expand. Like I'm making more than what I'm expending. No one's attacking me. No one will attack me because like it's just there's no need to because I've got a bunch of units. Now what? And literally it got to a point, I think like the last 45 minutes, I just kind of sat there and just waited for it to finish up. Like I just sort of built things for the sake of building them, and it just felt like a bit of a waste. And another interesting thing about this game, and nearly fucking drove me insane, was the game doesn't tell you that you can fast forward it. It tells you there's a pause button, and it tells you that and how to unpause it. And I'm like, okay, I'm playing this game in like 1x speed. It must be like a fast-paced game. And then it's not a fast-paced game at all. The units are very slow. It takes forever to research something, which is fine. I don't mind that. Just give me your speed up button. And it's literally hidden in the top right-hand corner. And you can only speed it up. Like it does go up by 5 increments, but it goes from like 1, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, and then 2. And it's like, who fucking cares? Give me 2 or give me 4, give me 8. Why are we like fucking around? And even when you are on 2, it still feels really slow. It's just a bit frustrating. One thing that it also captures as well is that units, and I thought that water would play a bit more of a theme, because in the Dune universe, water is very, especially on the planet Arrakis, water is very important. And there is a little bit of water, as in there is like water is a resource that you get, and water does, because if you send a unit out into an area that you don't control, it's got like a supply meter, and this supply meter is dictated by how much water you have. So you can't really go that far unless you've got a lot of water, or at least a little bit of water. But then at the same time, you don't need to go far. You can just go over, capture the next village. Cool, that's my village now. I'll restock on my water, and then I go to the next one. And I just never felt a need of like, okay, cool. That's cool that you've incorporated water into the units, but like it doesn't matter. Like I ended up having a positive 40 water just because I stockpiled it at the start of the game thinking I'll need it, and then I never did. And that's pretty much it. I get the feeling I've ranted for a bit, but this game is one of those. Am I glad I played it? Yes, I had a good time playing with it. I played that one game. I have no incentive to go back again. There is no different way of playing next time. I would play exactly the same, regardless of if the AI challenged me or not. I will give it credit though. I did play it on the Xbox Series X, and strategy games are a bit weird with controllers, and this game sort of controls pretty well. You've got an option of like using the triggers to toggle between menus, or you can press in the thumbstick and it gives you a cursor. So it does kind of work pretty well. There are a couple of like finicky things that like you have to press like 3 buttons to get to like the top bar, and you're in the top bar all the time. And that kind of does feel a bit. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm very conscious that playing a strategy game on a console with a gamepad is not the most optimal experience type of thing. Like I'm not going to go play a racing game with a keyboard and mouse and then complain that controls are shit. But I did appreciate how it was. But yeah, that's enough of that. The Dune Spice Wars rant. 6 out of 10. It's okay.
So yeah, coming out of all of that, it doesn't really sound like something you'd recommend other people to play, to be honest. Seems kind of like mid.
Mid, yeah. And like I gave it a 6, so it's just above mid. But I think if you're a real Dune fan, like all the Dune stands out there, all three of you that have like read all 40 books, even the ones written by the guy's son, you might have a bit more fun with this. Or maybe if you're a weird real-time strategy guy and you're really into that kind of thing and you're looking for something new, this might scratch that itch. Look, I got it through Game Pass. No surprises there. I had a perfect Game Pass experience. I played it for like 5 or 6 hours. I got through one game. I'm like, cool. Thanks for that. All the best. I'm not going to dine in your restaurant again, but I did not have a bad time.
What other, like, you don't really strike me as a big 4X guy. Like, what other 4Xs have you played?
Literally just Civ. Yeah, during the pandemic. Actually, no, I did play a lot of like Civ even before the pandemic. I used to just play like Civ 4 and Civ 5. Like, I didn't mind it. It's just like I'd play medium difficulty. I'd look up a couple of strats, and then that would kind of be it. I was just sort of playing because I sort of like the progress of it, like that kind of stuff. And I did sort of get into Halo Wars a little bit. I know that's like a real-time strategy game compared to a turn-based strategy game. And I did like that. I'm just not very good at them, and I don't really have the interest of getting better at them either. But yeah, like this is really reinforced my, okay, I'm not really a big 4X guy. And at the same time, I will admit I am playing it on a console with a gamepad. Not the most ideal way to play it.
Play with the steering wheel. Be a real man.
You know what, VR?
You might be onto something.
The PlayStation iToy. Those controllers from Buzz.
Yeah. Be the guy who beat Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero controller and beat Dune Spice Wars with a Guitar Hero controller.
The Donkey Kong drums. But yeah, like this game isn't gonna. It's not gonna change the genre. It's good that the Dune people are getting things, but all the best. Thanks for coming.
Cool. Fair enough. Right. Well, I guess that's that out of the way. Why don't we go from Spice Wars to Dragon Ball Wars? Saif.
Ooh, hang on.
I'm hanging on. I'm waiting for him to bring it up.
This isn't Dragon Ball Breakers, is it?
No, this is Dragon Ball Fighters.
Interesting.
The one that's getting
Dragon
good
Ball Fighters'
netcode.
biggest fan. Oh, lucky you paid. You know what? Doesn't matter. Let's not go into this. I don't care for it.
Yeah, so Dragon Ball Fighters is currently still having its rollback netcode beta. By the time this episode goes up, though, it'll be finished. Yeah, I tried it out for a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours. I was getting a lot of matches very quickly early on, and it was starting to slow down by the end, which is why I called it quits at the end. Otherwise, I would have just kept playing it. It's really enjoyable. The new netcode makes this game feel a lot better online, which is what you want out of this. I did end up playing against someone from... Oh god. I'm going to completely mess it up, but I think they were in Spain, they said? And that connection was really dicey, but it was still better than a lot of matches from the old netcode, so kind of give and take there. Just try not to have too big of a distance to really push a netcode. But besides that, connections were really clean. Had a couple of weird rollback instances where the game showed one thing and then it rolled back and something else was happening instead. Just kind of an example of that is like, at one moment I'd be underground blocking, and then the next moment, oh, actually I got hit by an overhead and now I'm being comboed.
He got filtered, it sounds like.
I mean, you know, that could happen to anyone.
It can. No one blocks those overheads. But yeah, honestly don't really have a lot to say about it. I hope that when this netcode patch hits for real, I can get back into the game proper, because the entire reason I ended up dropping this game was because the netcode was so bad that no one wanted to play it online, which meant I couldn't find any matches. I'd be sitting there in training mode for half an hour to an hour before a single match would roll up.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking horrifying. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Surely you wait 5 minutes and you put the game down.
Because I sit in training mode, I would have just sat there practicing for a little bit, and then that's when
practicing for the fight that never's going to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you fail 100% of the fights you don't take.
And it's because
you want to take any fights. You're just sitting there.
It's because I'm practicing combos that I just kind of lose track of time and go, oh, it's been half an hour, or oh, it's been 45 minutes. I guess I'm not getting paired up with anyone. I'm just going to turn off this game and go play something else. And yeah, so hopefully when this patch hits for real, the game's population online comes up a lot better. I can actually pair up with people and play it. God, I was rusty playing this game. I was dropping combos all over the place. I was getting my ass absolutely handed to me. I only won one of the games that I played.
How many games you play?
Close to 20, I think.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man, you got flogged. Put the controller down, man. Find a different game. Maybe you should still be in that training mode.
Maybe I should be. It's also been like 3 years since I played it, and I just kind of jumped in head first.
Fucking hell, jeez. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, I thought like you were playing like 6 or 12 months ago, but no, 3 years. Yeah, no, I've quit.
Yeah.
Even I may get rusty. Even I may have a skill issue.
You know what?
Unlikely, but
for the rest of the Pokemon season, don't play. Just go roll up to Worlds and go for the last chance qualifiers. Let's see how you go.
They don't really do that. But yeah, okay, I'll do that. Actually, good reminder, Seth. It'll be too late for everybody after this podcast, but the registrations for the Melbourne regionals open up tomorrow. And the Melbourne regionals are being held in February, I think. It'll be Regulation F. But anyway, enough about me and my amazing Pokemon skills.
Yeah, so...
Did you have a good time? You going to go back to it? You going to start competing in tournaments?
No. Not yet. I am not that good at it. Something that was fun is I haven't played an anime game, like an anime fighter on my hitbox yet. So that was interesting to see how that would play out with fighters. Turned out I adapted to it really well. A lot of the things I wanted to pull off, I did pretty well on the new controller. It just felt like instead of miss inputs being why I dropped combos, it was because I just dropped it myself. I was too slow on realizing I could have pressed a button, or I just forgot what button to press, or I did the wrong move and it dropped the combo. So there will be no blaming the controllers for my game plan being sloppy.
Just you.
Just me. It was all my fault. I'm sorry, Dragon Ball Fighters. You deserved better.
Did you get all the DLC for this?
I did, yeah.
Right on. How much did that cost you?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'd rather not say if I did know.
Well.
I'm pretty sure I got some of the seasons on sale because I wasn't actively playing it a lot during season 3, so I just waited for that one to go on sale before I bought it. And season 3, I think, was when they added Master Roshi, Kefla, Jiren, and Ultra Instinct Goku.
How many Gokus are there now?
Oh god, I don't know. Too many to count. I think by the Life Pharaoh counts, which great YouTuber, absolutely love him. He does great Dragon Ball Fighters content. By his count, where he counts the fusions as well, there's like 11 or 12 Gokus.
Jeez.
Too many Gokus. That's all you need to know. But yeah, great game. Hope this netcode fix brings new life into it. Very excited for that to happen, and I'll pick it back up when it does.
Very cool. Out of 10?
Out of 10? Oh, the game was like...
Rollback.
Yeah, rollback out of 10.
Look at that. All right. Cool. Well, thank you for that, Seth. Nice and snappy. With that, we come to the end of part 1. Thank you to you both. As always, we get to move on to part 2 for this week.
No, thank you, Pat, for being such a great host.
Which is, of course, the news. Which starts with Seth has some big announcement involving speaking Japanese and playing fighting games for money. Why? How? What happened?
So Evo Japan just announced their lineup for next year. The event's going to be happening on the 27th of April. And that gives me 6 months to A, learn Japanese, B, save money to go to Japan and enter this event, and C, and probably the most important one of them all, learn how to not go 0 and 2 in a fighting game.
Do you need to speak Japan? Or actually, when you give yourself time to get good at fighting games?
On the plane.
Yeah, I practice on the plane. I'm sure I can find someone to practice with.
Oh, no, just join Dragon Ball Fighters lobby.
The pilot spends all day with like a joystick in hand. He probably knows his way around a was it the Slapbox? What's the one?
You're thinking of an arcade stick?
Yeah.
Oh well, you get him next time, Pat. Don't worry.
No. But what's the box that you made?
Oh, the one I have. That's a hitbox.
Yeah. Hitbox. Yeah, I reckon the pilot knows his way around a hitbox.
But yeah, just to round this one out, the games that are going to be on the main stage for Evo Japan next year, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, Guilty Gear Strive, King of Fighters 15, Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Under Night's In Birth 2, Sis Celeste, and the retro game of the year, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
The Street Fighter gets 2 representations. Interesting.
It does. Big lack
2
of
streets but no roads. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Can I offer you a highway
to the danger zone?
You know what? There's always people who always fight in streets. Is anybody loving streets? When's Street Lover coming out?
Well, that's when we have to play CVS 2 and just get the stage with True Love We're Making in the background.
I don't know any of those words you just said, but all the best.
I will send you that song later, and you will promptly not listen to it. But yeah, severe lack of any Western-made fighting games here, and also a severe lack of Marvel vs. Capcom. But I guess Third Strike is the Marvel vs. Capcom slot here. True. Anyway, decent lineup. It's all basically the new games in new big games. There's nothing really too surprising about the lineup.
And we have a double up of Street Fighter news because not only is it in Evo, but it's getting some DLC.
Collaboration events DLC. So this will probably be stuff that they'll do stuff in the Battle Hub area where it'll play music, and you'll be able to buy accessories for your avatar character. But coming in January, so this got announced pretty early. They're going to be doing
your avatar character. That game only just came out.
Yeah, and we're doing more advertising for it than Ubisoft is.
They have no advertising budget.
Unfortunate. Maybe if they didn't put all that money into the next Assassin's Creed, they'd have some. But yeah, the next collaboration Street Fighter is doing is with Spy Family, which is a mega hit anime and something that I've been reading for a while and absolutely love. Excited to see what they're going to do for it. Not excited for how much a DLC for it is going to be, because holy shit, remember last week we talked about those DLC outfits that were coming out?
We did.
They're out now.
$6.
They're stupid expensive. I'm going to take this moment. I'm going to take this moment to talk about how stupid expensive they are. So, Patrick, I'm going to put you on the spot for this one.
No.
Let's say the costume DLC is $6, but you have to use your in-game currency to buy that. Would you, as Capcom, make an easy way of purchasing this item by making a premium currency conversion that is exactly $6, so you get one costume?
Fuck no. No. Minimum $10 worth of premium DLC, premium currency.
You're close. So the minimum you can buy is $4.50, I think, which means that at the minimum you can't buy one costume. So you have to go to the next tier up, which puts you at just enough money to buy 2 costumes. You can't just go one. You have to go in for 2 costumes at minimum.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And someone's worked out the math, and the cheapest way to buy all of the costumes is to buy 2 of the most expensive pack of fighter coins, which all up will cost you $99.98 USD to get every costume in the game. And to me, that's way too much. Like, I think if your costume DLC costs more than the base game and season pass combined, you fucked up.
My man's out here saying to me this is too expensive when
I've seen people justify it.
Rough.
How can you justify it? They're NFTs at best.
They're not even NFTs. They're perfectly fungible, Steve.
Yeah, other people can own them.
Other people can own them while they get owned online.
Like, this is unrealistic expectations, but I think at best, like, this would have been the upper limits for me. Would have been $30 for a pack that had all of the costumes in it. And to see that it's triple that.
Even if I go more generous than that and I say, I'm willing to live in a world where there are 2 packs for the costumes and each one is $30. That's still cheaper than bloody $99, which, reminding everyone, is not $99 for all the costumes. $99 is just the cheapest amount of money to spend on in-game currency for the costumes.
Yeah, if you go the other route of, like, just buying it over time, like, oh, I'll just do the 2 costumes here and then I'll do 2 costumes down the line somewhere else, and then you end up getting all of them, you've outspent that $99.98.
What if I get it on Afterpay?
I don't think Afterpay covers this one, I'm sorry.
Okay, Afterpay covers my fucking pizzas. Surely Afterpay can cover some perfectly fungible Street Fighter costumes.
Patrick, Afterpay won't even cover me for Exoprimal.
Poor Exoprimal.
Could you imagine if they said, hey, it could cost you $99 of in-game currency or $40 and you buy Exoprimal? And you have to play 4 games online.
I'd take that offer. Exoprimal was pretty good when I played it.
No. But Saif, you have to play 4 games online. You won't play the 4th game. Matchmaking's only good for 3 games.
I'll find a way.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. Yeah, no, it is tragic, but that's also just sort of the way everything is going. Like, not as like a single DLC pack, but there are a few games where you add up all the DLC. Like, even Deep Rock Galactic, I'm pretty sure, does this as well, where most of their DLC packs are cosmetic. No, Borderlands as well. Borderlands 2, because they did so many cosmetic packs for the different characters, where it goes to like a Steam sale, and it's like, hey, how would you like to add $230 worth of DLC to the cart? And here I am thinking, but I already own some of this. And Steve's like, oh no, we know. This is with that removed.
Oh.
It might not actually be $230, but the point is, like, way more money than you think for the remaining DLCs, and it's just because there's so many cosmetic packs.
Ugh, I hate DLC so much.
It's like our Farming Simulator having over $1,000 worth of DLC.
You know what, Saif? I don't say this often, but you're right. It's exactly like Farming Simulator having over $1,000 worth of DLC.
But yeah, to bring this back around to some some good news about the situation, at least they used that money to make a really nice animation of your Forger from Spy Family fighting Chun-Li.
Cool.
Yeah. Did anybody ask for that, though?
I did. This was specifically made for me.
Ah, now it all makes sense. Oh, well, anyway, final thoughts on that from you, Saif, or are we good to move on?
Good to move on. I got nothing else about that.
Sweet. Well, can I get something from you on Arc System Works and Arcuria?
Stroke.
Arcuria?
I think that's how you say that.
Forming a capital alliance? Okay, I know chances are this is some sort of pop culture news, but you call a company Aquaria, whatever. If you're not making water bottles, what are you doing?
Surely it's water-based.
No, it's Sword Art Online based.
Wish you didn't say that.
Anyway, walk me through this one.
Just some interesting news I saw where Arc System Works and Aquaria Acquia, however you say that one.
Both of us just having strokes trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they're doing a joint partnership, so they're not being absorbed into one another. They're just going to be working together to make games or use each other's IPs and then share the funds together. So that's neat news.
That's kind of cool.
Sweet. I really have nothing else to add to this, so we get to move on.
Good to move on.
Okay.
Yes,
cool.
please.
Much like how we are moving on from that, Peter Griffin is moving on from his house in Spooner Street. I
forgot that's the name of their street.
Does anybody know the address?
Isn't it 123?
I think it's 31.
31. I know it's got like the digits 1, 2, or 3 somewhere in some order. Anyway, the point is, Peter Griffin's in Fortnite now, so canonically, Peter Griffin can kill Ariana Grande, and we can clap in support.
Can also kill Goku Black.
No.
And Goku
That's
regular.
Right, man.
Try not to think too hard about that.
Yeah, don't.
The dub of that show literally has the people yell, "Don't shoot, he's not black."
Actually, wait. How many Spider-Man can Peter Griffin now kill?
I think Spider-Man and Venom, if you count Venom as a Spider-Man.
And Tom Holland.
Isn't Miles in it? Wait,
I
isn't
don't think
Spider-Gwen
Miles is in it. Is Miles in it?
Anyway, look, it doesn't matter. We don't fucking care. Or like
He can also
Peter
kill
Griffin
John
in
Cena.
Fortnite. Kill John Wick. But yeah, no, this is absolutely insane that they got Peter Griffin into Fortnite. That's fucking insane. And it's also weird as well. They've got like Muscly Peter from like season 4, episode 20. For those playing along at home. Yeah, of all the Peters they could get, they got that one.
I think it's a hitbox thing. They wanted to match the hitboxes accurately in the game, so they go with Buff Peter, which to me is boring. They should have just kept the hitboxes the same, but done Fat Peter anyway. So that way you can shoot his fat rolls and it still goes through his hitbox.
Wait, this means Peter can also kill Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Rick or Morty, you can't kill both of them at the same time.
He can if he tries hard enough.
Muscly Peter would find a way.
Muscly Peter can also fire off a Kamehameha.
Ah, man, you love to see it. Yeah, I don't know.
And Naruto, oh my god.
Yeah, that's true.
And soon, Solid Snake, because he also leaked.
I don't care for that. I only care about Family Guy.
Anyway, there's a trailer. He's in Fortnite now. Memes. Pretend there are memes. There are lots of memes. Memes. We good to move on?
One more thing I want to add. It's a shame that with Peter being included, they didn't find a way to attach Subway Surfers to the start of your Fortnite game.
Not yet. Maybe next update.
Do you reckon it's just canon that every person that he kills, he's actually thinking that he's killing Meg? Or he's just yelling, "Shut up, Meg," with every bullet he fires?
When's Meg coming?
Well, I mean, she is in the trailer. She's the
Meg's
helicopter, isn't she?
No, that's the Peter Copter.
Oh, is that the Peter Copter? My mistake.
Yeah. I'm very surprised they did like early Family Guy references. And look, it doesn't matter. We've spent too much time talking about Fortnite.
We have. And
Fortnite,
you know what? The kids appreciate the early Family Guy reference, okay? They wanted to know what it was like in the before time. And speaking of the before time, we have a Dragon Age trailer. Which
yeah,
do we really?
What do we call this? It's not really a trailer. It's like a reveal trailer. Like the trailer is teasing the full reveal. It's not teasing the game.
It's a teaser. A teaser. It's a trailer for a fucking trailer. Holy fucking shit! This is bullshit.
They literally just show environments of the game,
and the comments are not kind.
Yeah, okay, so the top comment, the game will definitely have a map. Yeah, cool, mad.
This is probably one of the games of all time.
Frustrating.
The landscape seems so pretty and detailed.
Full reveal coming summer 2024.
Yeah, well, what a fucking unhinged thing to say. Like, cool. Everybody knows you're working on it. You don't need to tell us you're working on it. Just fucking work on it. Like some dumb marketing people probably thought, oh yeah, let's do something. They pulled probably a bunch of designers off, put this all together, and then that was it.
Imagine if they had waited till the Game Awards to show this.
I would have gone on stage with Jeff Keighley.
The laser dart from security would have gone straight to Steve's forehead.
No, I think they would have let him pass for this one.
Yeah, everybody would let me pass. The security person was probably a
they're on your side.
A watchmajigger. Yeah, they were on my side. It's probably Mr. Dragon Age himself.
No, he's trying to get away from you.
Fucking going in. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's move on.
So, I guess I have to ask
things
this.
To be angry about.
I have to ask this of the biggest Dragon Age fan here. Steve, what's your favorite part of the reveal trailer?
Look, as someone who is in a lot of shitposting groups, they did reference a bunch of like in that map part in like the first 5 seconds, they put like a bunch of areas like Antiva that are like talked about but aren't visited. So it heavily hints that like we'll be going to Antiva.
Imagine that you don't.
Yeah, fucking insane.
Oh,
we went to Orlais in Inquisition, so surely we go to this. But look, it is what it is. It wouldn't surprise me if this is sort of we go to like every region that's been talked about in the Dragon Age universe, and that's fine in the country of Thetis or whatever it's pronounced. But yeah, it's fucking 48 seconds long. It doesn't say anything. Just fucking work on the game. Full
but
reveal.
They can't. They've spent so much time working on the reveal trailer.
What does that even mean? So it says literally from second 40 onwards, it says full reveal summer 2024. Is this not a full reveal? Like, what are they?
No, they're just showing maps. Revealing? They're just showing flyovers of environments.
But what are they fully revealing? Are they fully revealing $3,000 into my wallet? I don't understand.
You will see how the gameplay looks and the story.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, anyway, look, move on.
It's getting revved
up here.
I tried to go through this. I tried to get this one out of the docket, but Stephen really wanted to get rolled up over it.
Get me a drywall to punch through.
And some energy drink. Cool. Well, we're going to move on from a game that had very little of. I fucked this. I'm so sorry. I fucked the segue. I was going to talk about how we got basically no info out of that versus a game where we've had too much info because they keep remastering it. Actually, that segue wasn't as bad as I thought. That still works. Yeah, you take that. Self 5.
Yeah, I'll take it. We
have a trailer for the no return mode, which is kind of funny because you do return. It's a roguelike, so weird name, but yeah, it's kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know if it's enough to make me get Last of Us Part 2 as someone who has played it without owning it because I borrowed it from a friend. What did you guys think?
It's very funny that they heard my joke from last week's podcast before I even published the episode.
What did you say?
The joke about how this they've announced a mode. Well, this is a game about how bad the cycle of violence is. So now they've made a mode that is completely about cycling violence.
Ah, that's right. Sorry.
Still very funny.
And boy, does this trailer glorify the fuck out of the combat in the game.
Yeah, look. Who's buying this?
I've seen quite a few people say that it's worth $10, which is, the PS4 people saying, path. Yeah, doing the upgrade path.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, yeah. And then it just got weird stacked on DLC.
I'm seeing a lot of people talk about how much they wish this had co-op, and yeah, I agree.
Yeah, co-op would have been pretty fun.
Yeah. It doesn't work in a... wait, so do they mean co-op in like the story mode?
No.
What? No.
Oh, okay, so co-op just in this mode. Sorry, I thought we were talking about... Okay, never mind then.
No, we were just talking about no return. A roguelike in co-op would actually be pretty cool. Yeah, is what it is. I don't know.
Maybe next time.
That's the thing. When they do the remaster re-release on the PS5 again, then we might get multiplayer in no return.
I mean, they're going to do that The Last of Us multiplayer if Bungie lets them.
Do we as gamers want them to do that, though?
I've seen a lot of people really want that, yes, but me personally, no.
Wow, rude.
I'm just tired of The Last of Us. I want them to do something different.
No, old thing good, so keep doing old thing.
Oh yeah, if old thing's so good, where's Jack and Daxter?
I don't know what that is. I never played it.
This man not playing PS2 games. I've had enough of him, Patrick. We need to get him on the PS2.
My parents loved me, so they got me an Xbox Huge.
That doesn't sound like love.
It does. You wouldn't understand it. Okay, they went too far. I'm sorry.
I bet they got you Xbox Gold as well, so you could play Halo 2 online and call people slurs.
Yeah, so we could learn colourful new language with friends.
No, I was not allowed to do that. Dad was worried that it would take up all the bandwidth, and I did not understand bandwidth, so I was like, okay.
I mean, reasonable for you to have in Australia.
Yeah. I think like back then we would have only had like 10 gigs or something.
Yeah, I remember when we had 10 gigs and me downloading a PSP ISO was like 1.5 gigs. And so I'd wait for the last day of the month, blow through the cap because the ISP would only slow it down after 24 hours after you exceeded it. And so monthly use, 10 gigs. Last day of the month, 20 gigs.
Fuck them.
They deserved it.
Highway robbery. Much like the good old days, people still enjoying GTA 5 no longer have to be stuck in the good old days because we finally have GTA 6 confirmed, announced, where they also did a brief reveal trailer which gave us absolutely no information. Oh, wait, no, sorry, this is an actual trailer. Fuck you, Dragon Age.
Bullshit, it's a trailer. Anyway, hang on. Okay, so it is a trailer. I'll give it that. Who fucking cares? The games that are coming out. Stephen Rant time. This game, the trailer says that the game's not coming out until 2025. Like, what was the purpose of this trailer? Like, I understand the purpose. It's generating hype and all that, but fucking hell, just give me the game. Don't make these bullshit ads. Demand the game.
Steve, you're not really around the development side of things, so let me break it down for you. When GTA 5 earns you $17 quadrillion, you might be tempted to say, clearly this is super popular, we should start making GTA 6. And that's what Rockstar did. But you see, the issue is they had to remaster their own code for GTA 6 so many times across 2 generations. It's been fucking 11 years that they thought, let's just hedge our bets on it being available for the PS6.
You know what? Knowing Rockstar wouldn't absolutely surprise me. But yeah, like this is uploaded 11
years to put together. Like, let's just remind everyone: GTA 4 came out in 2008,
wasn't it?
2008, 2009, maybe? And so
roughly around then.
GTA
I'm pretty
5,
sure it was
GTA 5. 4 or 5 years later. So presumably, as soon as GTA 4 came out, they were like, "Yep."
2013. I remember going to the midnight release. I even took work off the next day.
Yeah, so you and several thousand, like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people.
And between those, they also did Red Dead Redemption.
I knew people who skipped school exams to go and grab GTA 5. But the point is, it's now been 11 years. So, okay, you're Stephen Run. How is it that we don't just have a game because they're saying it's coming summer 2025? My rant is that they have left this so long. I do not think it can live up to hype.
I don't think it ever could.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's if this was still on a cadence that made sense, right? It's the same boat with Skyrim. I guess Elder Scrolls 6 or 7, depending on if you count like online.
You don't.
Same thing. Honestly, I think it would be the same thing with Mass Effect 4, the actual Mass Effect 4, not Andromeda.
Oh yeah.
Where we were used to these cadences of a game would take, let's say, 3 or 4 years. Fine. and one that comes out that's not as good, no worries, because it's on like a regular cadence. You don't put such a huge amount of effort into every single one of these. Meanwhile, you now have something like it's like the Duke Nukem effect, where everyone knew this was going to come out.
Right.
Like everyone knew that this has to be a GTA 6. There's no way there can't be a GTA 6. I don't think. I think it would. It's going to get it's going to get reviewed well, because it just will. It's a game that's just going to do well in publications and things, like every Call of Duty for some reason.
And how Rockstar puts out their games, like we can make fun of things like Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky. Like the reason that this has been literally in the oven for 12 years is that the Rockstar, when it releases, some might say it might be a generation-defining game, just like San Andreas was, just like Grand Theft Auto 5 was to a lesser extent. Like, it's just the quality of the Grand Theft Auto games are amazing. It's just, for the love of fucking God, like I just don't see what this. No, I do. As someone who studied marketing, I see that this trailer is designed to generate hype, but it's just like frustrating to know. Okay, cool, I got excited. Oh, 2025. All right, well,
yeah, and so what I'm trying to get at is that this is a game that by the time 2025 rolls around, this will have been 12 years since the previous title. On what planet is this going to pull the same kind of, like, I don't know. I'm willing to be wrong, but I'm calling it now. It's going to be a good game. I have no doubts it's going to be a good game. But people are going to play this and go, GTA 5 was better. That's my pat forecast.
So I have to address both of you, so I'm going to break this down into 2 points. The first one for Steven is why they're doing this now is, did you forget that mountains of leaks footage for this game already came out quite a few months ago? I imagine they're wanting to get this out there, like show it off in like the highest possible quality that Rockstar themselves wants to show it off at, without more things leaking out. And then on top of that, this trailer leaks. This trailer was meant to come out tomorrow. It leaks, so they put it out today while going, fuck the leakers, here it is, just watch it on our channel now.
Imagine doubling down on like your Rockstar. You're like, no, we're not working on GTA 6.
And yeah, that's where I was going to get with on the Patrick side of this topic, is that I feel like it's not going to help a lot, but I think some expectations are tempered because, well, not tempered, but put aside a little bit, because Rockstar was very open that they weren't doing GTA 6 yet, because Red Dead Redemption 2 was the thing they were doing. So part of that big wait for this game is like, oh, well, Rockstar is doing their other big thing. They're going to do Red Dead, and then they're going to do GTA 6, so that 12-year wait gets cut in half and becomes, I think Red Dead 2 was 2018. So at this point, it's become a 5-year wait instead of 10 years. So they've effectively cut half the expectation time. But yeah, right. There will still be people that go, oh no, GTA 5 was better, new thing not as good as old thing, but that happens a lot anyway with a lot of games.
I'm sure it does, but I look into the Matrix, and if this were any other developer, Saints Row reboot, fall over. Andromeda, fall over. I haven't even heard of people still playing.
But all of those are also reboots.
They are, but the point is,
Rockstar is going back to old familiar. They're doing Vice City. Everyone loved Vice City. Let's go back there.
I guess if there wasn't, again, it's sort of weird talking about this on the back of the Squid Game, the challenge thing, but I think this game would do. So if I'm right, okay, and people play this and they say, "Oh, GTA 5 was better. It's such a shame. It's still a good game, but it's such a shame. It's not quite the same level." If they had stripped out it being called a Grand Theft Auto game and just gave it a new title, people would think it was better. If I'm right and people think GTA 5 is better.
I think it might be a little too early to make that call for myself. But also in saying that, I don't know why I'm going to bat so much for this game because, as Steven put it, this is going to be a generation-defining game. This will most likely be the game of the generation. I will completely skip out of it. I don't like Rockstar games. I've realized that after Red Dead Redemption 2. I just do not like their style of games. They're not for me, and this is going to be a skip for me.
All I'm asking, where is Bully 2?
That's what I've been saying.
There is no Bully 2. There is no Bully Remastered. They don't care. They caught lightning in a bottle, and they have no interest in catching lightning in a bottle again.
They've left us gamers in the dust.
But I think something that will help this game as well is that, hey, it's Vice City. They can just make as many NPCs as they want to be Florida men.
True.
Yeah, it definitely seems like
even in the trailer, someone fucking wrestling an alligator out of a pool.
Dude, there's like 12 different Florida men in this trailer.
Two random things, not necessarily about GTA. Well, one of them about GTA 6, one of them tangential. I have been refreshing this trailer just every so often. The view count, at least when people listen to this in the future, it has been out for 11 hours and it has 55 million views.
Yeah, it's the next big game.
Of all time.
This game's going to sell for the next 10 years, like GTA 5 currently does.
Number one trending on gaming.
Do you know why GTA 5 is so high on the sales list, by the way, on PSN?
Isn't it because of the shark cards?
It's shark cards. People are buying shark cards so much it gets that high.
Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say,
like roleplay servers as well. It's fucking insane.
Yeah. All of that had a big resurgence with which we'll get to that. But the other thing I want to say before we move on, in the recommendeds for the GTA 6 trailer 1 technically is the title of the video. They have Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer 12 years ago, 96 million views.
Surely it goes higher than that.
What do you mean higher? What? Oh, you mean GTA 6 trailer going higher?
Yeah, sorry, the GTA 6 trailer goes higher than that. Like, it's halfway there.
I thought you meant just, let's get a squad together and just bump that old GTA 5 trailer up another few, shall we?
No.
Can you imagine Rockstar funding their game development off of YouTube ad money from their trailer?
They could. 55 million views is not a small amount of money you get.
Yeah. And the thing is, they technically are funding it because of how many people are going to buy the game off of this trailer. Anyway, I just thought it was funny that the recommended's like, you're watching the GTA 6 trailer. Did you know the GTA 5 trailer came out 12 years ago? Ugh.
I don't want to think about it. I was 18 when GTA 5 came out. Ugh. Now I'm an old man.
Rough.
18-year-old Steven would be like, I wonder what 28-year-old Steve's doing. Yeah, pretty much the same thing, big fella. Nothing's really changed. Still waiting. Yeah. Maybe I'll go for the midnight release of this one as well. Actually, I'll see if I can find it. There is the most fucking cringiest photo of me in the entire world, like standing on the Grand Theft Auto 5 box that I got because of the collector's edition, like as if I've conquered it or something.
Wow.
It is, yeah. You know what? We should never hide from the cringe. We should embrace it. Let me see if I can find it. But anyway, move on.
And moving on to the final part, which is still related to GTA, that we have, technically it's an omission, but it's kind of subtly confirmed that there's going to be no PC version on release. So you're watching the trailer, you're like, based. Oh man, summer 2025? Oh, that's so far away to wait. Oh, shoot. Well, if you're on a PC, even longer.
2026, fuckers.
You're getting it. Oh, here it is. I found it. Look, PC Master Race. Oh, I've got my shoes off. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Many things.
Yeah, this is just going to happen. This is really obvious to me because they know they can double dip. They're just going to force the PC market to be buying it a second time. God, what the fuck is wrong with you? In front of the InSport as well.
Dead Penrith throw Westfield, yeah. Put that in the look. As funny as it would be, put it in the video version. Make it the album art of this episode. But anyway,
but yeah, GTA 6 is going to sell a lot on console. They're going to hit the console market first, and then go, hey, by the way, here's the PC version a year later with added benefits. and then they'll get
Rockstar
the PC
hates
people,
PCs.
and then the people that bought it on consoles that also want to see the PC improvements.
Well, is Red Dead Redemption 2 out on consoles?
Yeah, Red Dead 2 is out on PC. It got a bunch of buffs. GTA 5 is on PC as well.
Yeah,
All of them come out
released,
later.
I think. Oh, man, crazy times.
It is the
I'm
console
talking about this.
privilege.
Give me the game. Oh, yeah, consoles. Truly,
Thanks
the
to beta
master race.
testing.
Fuck you, no. Just enjoy our sloppy seconds.
I will wait 1 year for a FOV slider.
Wow. And a performance fix from just some guy in the community that got fed up with all the shit they packed into GTA Online, slowing down his loading experience.
That's the way to do it.
Anyway, that was the whole thing. Cool. Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah. Well, I mean, Steve has the cringiest photo I've ever seen of him getting GTA 5, so I assume GTA 6 on your horizon. No GTA 6 on Seth's horizon. I've really enjoyed Saints Row, so I should really enjoy GTA.
They're very different games.
They are.
Saints Row is often
similar,
described
but
as
different.
GTA with cheat codes on, though. Like, it's not like they're like vastly. It's not like one's like a fucking 4X, but
Saints Row is GTA if they continued the game feel of the PS2 era, and GTA proper has gone on to be more, I don't know, like more
it's almost like The Sims.
story crime drama-ish and gameplay more weighty.
Yeah, very true. I don't know. I will wait and see. It's certainly nothing that I'm thinking like absolutely frothing at the mouth want to go and get, but I am curious. So we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts from either of you, or do we move on?
We can move on.
Cool.
Please move on.
After dealing with the fallout of the trailer, we can now deal with the fallout the TV series, where the trailer has just been released, which is coming out April 12th, 2024. As someone who hasn't really played Fallout, I quite enjoyed the trailer, I gotta say. I gotta be honest.
Look, as much as I it's a fucking trailer. I don't want to keep talking about trailers. This isn't the trailer episode. The trailer cast. This looks good. There is this kind of grunginess that it kind of captures, which I always associate with the Fallout series. I'm a very big fan of Fallout. So I'm very keen to see how this one goes.
It's got a whole bunch of names that have been part of previous projects that people recognize. I mean, we have...
it's from critically acclaimed game producer Todd Howard.
Yeah, I did see that. I thought that was kind of a funny credit to include.
It was weird. I wonder if that means that he's sort of having a lot more oversight.
It
I'm
could
sure- I'm
be.
sure
It's
he's a
like Neil
consultant.
Druckmann being gone at The Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But it's just interesting because he's not the owner of the source. Well, he is the owner of the source material, but he's not like the creator like what Neil Druckmann is. The Last of Us. Yeah, whatever. When's it coming out?
As I said, if you rewind, bloop, 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 April 12th, 2024, on Amazon Prime Video. And
to the Pirate Bay.
doing absolute rookie numbers. The trailer's been out for 2 days, only 1.4 million views. I don't
Embarrassing.
think anyone knows about this. Yeah.
Us Fallout stands, we must rise up.
Look,
I
the
don't know about you,
IGN re-upload of the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer has 2.1 million views. That's the
Doesn't count.
re-upload and it's beating this.
IGN trying to cut the lunch of Rockstar. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, any final Fallout commentary from either of you, or do we move on?
I love Fallout.
Yeah, it looks neat. I might watch it. I might not. I haven't decided yet.
Wow.
I'll watch it for you.
Watch it twice. You know what? Install and then uninstall every Unity game you have while you watch it.
Sure.
Okay. Is Fallout a Unity game? No, it isn't. They've got their weird fucking...
Yeah, they have
Fallout
their own
Embryo.
engine. The
Yeah, that's
engine
what
where
it's called,
people wear trains of people with hats.
God, that's still the funniest thing ever.
It works, though. It worked.
I love coding stories that are just like, We don't know how we did it, but we did this incredibly fucked up thing, and that makes it work.
It's like it's like a GIF of, oh shit, is it a GIF of a pineapple or a potato or something? It's like a single image in the TF2 source code, and it completely breaks if it gets removed.
That's right, yeah, and like nobody knows. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah. And like nobody knows why. Nobody knows who put it in.
I heard someone say that was just a myth, but I think there's some truth to it, or at least I'd believe it. It sounds believable, and I think that makes it funny enough.
I think there's also like a Half-Life thing that has like a rubber duck that has more polygons than the entire map it's in.
So good. The forbidden duck. Anyway, next up, Starbreeze, the studio behind Payday, is making a Dungeons & Dragons live service game. Steve, this has you written all over it.
I hate live service games so much. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, Dungeons & Dragons is already a live service board game kind of thing. Like, when you think about the expansions and how people play it and interact with it.
When you think about Wizards of the Coast trying to clamp down on that shit.
I don't know.
They say they're aiming for a 2026 release.
Yeah, it's another fucking trailer. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Like, considering that but when Baldur's Gate 3, that is the official Dungeons & Dragons game, because that's officially... I'm not sure if it's officially licensed, but they worked quite closely with Wizards of the Coast.
I mean, it has to be licensed if they're using the name Baldur's Gate, since that's specifically a Dungeons & Dragons thing. Very true. Same with like Neverwinter Nights and all that. Actually, no, not Neverwinter Nights. Thinking of City of Neverwinter. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's what, like, there is no... in this article, like, in that press release they released, there's no... there's no Wizards of the Coast flavoring of what the fuck this actually looks like. Is it just sort of like a weird... This is just an announcement that they're partnering up to do something. It's like when Square Enix and Marvel really hyped up that, hey, we literally just signed that we're going to do an Avengers game. Yeah, okay, good point. I just think this is being made by, as Patrick said, Starbreeze, and they made Payday 3. So I guess... Which recently failed to meet to embrace the group's expectations.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I haven't seen any hype. I mean, admittedly, a lot of my circle that I follow aren't really into Payday, but I still expected to see some bleed from other communities trying to get me on board with it, and I just haven't. I don't know if it's
it had massive server issues that took a couple of weeks to get fixed up, so that left a really big negative impression on launch.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a shame.
Hopes are very, very low.
For the Dungeons & Dragons live service?
Yes.
Or for... Yeah, okay, I wasn't sure if we were still talking about Payday 3.
Oh, sorry, no, I don't care for Payday 3.
Sounds like you don't care for Dungeons & Dragons live service either.
Yes.
But could I interest you in caring about Banjo-Kazooie? Mayhaps. Well, if I can...
I love Banjo-Kazooie so much. Sorry, I thought I was waiting for a bit more of a segue.
You failed to meet his expectations on your segue game.
Let's hope Phil Spencer isn't as slow as Steve and actually gets Xbox together to put something out, because he says, we hear you.
He says this like every year.
I know. This is what I was going to follow into.
This is a No Dog Jack and Daxter situation.
What's Jack
where
and
they're
Daxter?
like, oh man, we'd love to. We just can't stop re-releasing Last of Us Part 1.
Oh man, it's a shame we can't find anyone to make this Banjo-Kazooie game. Never mind that we just bought the entirety of Activision Blizzard King and have all of their development studios under our thumb now.
Mm-hmm. They're busy. It's different. You wouldn't understand. They're busy.
Yeah, the entirety of Activision is on Call of Duty.
Look, I will say this could be like a monkey sport type of thing. Has everybody already forgotten about Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts? Maybe it's like... I love Banjo-Kazooie as much as the
Stephen, I want you to know that there is currently a campaign going around that are trying to get people to believe that Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was not as bad as people made it out to be.
Nope. I don't believe that, Saif. These voices that are in your head, you should not listen to them. They are wrong. They will lead you astray. I refuse to believe the game is actually no. I was going to say not bad, but no, it's a bad game. The level design shit. The building of the thing is fucking shit. The graphics are fucking dog shit. Even the performance back in the 360 was pretty fucking rough.
I imagine the performance has been fixed with Xbox back compat.
It probably has, but like you can't say 15 years later, oh yeah, the performance is fixed now. Like, come on, like what are we doing here? Even like how old have I been? Like 15 years when I played that. Like even I knew. I'm like, well, this game's just a sideshow. But anyway, look, all I'm saying is, we just want. I don't know. What do we want? We have Banjo 1 and 2 on
What do we want?
Game Pass.
Banjo-Kazooie. When do we want it? Eventually.
Okay, so the article makes a great point here, which is something I've heard a lot of people talk about, and something I massively agree with, is the franchise has been kind of making a comeback where the first game was put on Nintendo Switch Online, and Banjo and Kazooie were added to Smash Brothers Ultimate, and it's really stupid that Phil Spencer hasn't found a way to capitalize on that by having a Banjo-Kazooie project in development, because you think with like the renewed interest and eyes on the characters, a new game would sell really well, and he's out here going, no, we hear people want it, we just don't have anything in the pipeline right now.
Do you reckon it's because that like 3D platforms don't really exist anymore? Like, maybe this is because they haven't been done well. Like, I'm thinking of like the ukulele when that came out. Like that was pretty. I thought it was better than alright. I think it was like a solid 7 out of 10. I reckon if I played it now with my game reviewing cap on, it wouldn't be that good. But is it that 3D platformers don't really exist anymore? Like,
it's basically what Nintendo does with Mario and Sonic sometimes, and that's about it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm interested. It seems like a bunch of the indie games are taking that to cap though. Like A Hat in Time is there, and then there's that
Balance Wonderworld.
We're not talking about that one. We're talking about good games. We're not talking about games that have known criminals associated with them.
The only thing criminal about that game was the game.
And the insider
That's really
trading.
why he went to jail. That's really why he went to jail.
He was just the patsy for like Square Enix just wanting to get rid of the game.
There's also that Penny's Big Breakaway game that the Sonic Mania devs are doing that looks pretty fun. So yeah, there's stuff happening in the 3D platformer realm. It's just, it's not the massive super genre it was back in the late 90s.
Yeah, and I think it's just because it's been like perfected. Like, look at, like, imagine coming up against like a Mario Odyssey. Like, that game is close.
But it's also been 6 years since Mario Odyssey. We could use something new.
Yeah, the Ratchet and Clank sludge pipe's been turned off for a while too.
Rift Apart was just 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking that was longer ago, but no, you're right, that was only 2 years ago.
Did you call it a sludge pipe?
Rift Apart was the thing that readjusted that. There were a few kind of...
Basically everything between A Crack in Time and Rift Apart was Ratchet and Clank sludge.
Yeah. The game based on the movie based on the game.
In saying that, I did enjoy All for One when I played it, but I was playing that co-op with my 3 brothers, which meant we had the perfect amount of people to play that 4-player co-op game.
Yeah, because they didn't call it All 3-1, did they?
No, all 5-1.
Imagine the ideal co-op number is 5.
Can we... side topic. It's weird that they've made the ideal co-op number these days 3 players.
Have they? What other games have made 3-player co-op?
Destiny did it and a few other games have. What was that game that came out at the launch of the PS5? Godfall? That was also a 3-player co-op game. I think... Don't quote me on this, but I think Babylon's Fall might have been 3-player as well.
Oh no.
Maybe that was 4-player because that was...
pair up with?
Maybe that was 4-player because I think that was ripping off Monster Hunter a little bit too much in how it designed its quest design.
Weird. No, I've never really thought about games having 3-player co-op specifically.
Yeah, I don't really play co-op games. I'm the only gamer for me.
for a little while there, it was just Monster Hunter and Borderlands that was doing 4-player, and everything else was like, nah, 3 players is the ideal number.
Well,
I don't know what to say to that.
Anyway, anything more from Banjo-Kazooie?
No, I got nothing else to add to that. Phil Spencer should make it happen.
Get him on the line. Get him on the line.
Anyway, while we are crank calling him, we should ask him whether or not Game Pass should actually come to every screen. This is off the back of him talking about how a heart of his career would be to purchase Nintendo, which I still think is kind of funny. But Steve, you're the resident Game Pass shill. Would you be happy sharing the toys with people with Nintendo Switches or mobile phones and other? Wow. Okay, I didn't even have to twist your arm.
Yeah, like it says, oh no, you should only be playing Xbox games if you buy Xbox Series X. No, absolutely not true. Absolutely psychotic behavior.
I didn't do that. I played Hi-Fi Rush on PC. Fuck the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, well, you go to jail. And I think this is kind of more of like
but
the
I didn't
whole
pirate
Xbox.
It.
Yeah.
I think this is telling in that Steve really wants to share his experience in Redfall with every platform.
If I had to play it, everybody else has to play it. No, this is probably
yes, this is a threat.
Microsoft probably knows that they've lost the. I hate using this word, but the console war. Like,
Phil Spencer has come out before and said they're no longer in the business of trying to out-console Sony or Nintendo because they know they can't outsell them at this point.
Yeah, they can't. Like, Nintendo's too far gone, and Sony's
Sony.
In the best of regions, that Sony is outselling them 3-1.
Yeah, like,
and in the worst of regions, it's like 9-1.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking rough. But that doesn't really make sense. And I think with the big push to cloud gaming, it will work. So it should be interesting to see where it goes. It's just more of a, will other consoles let them do it? Like, I can imagine them, I can imagine Switch kind of opening up a little bit and letting like fucking 3 games on. And then because they do that, Sony has to break.
Yeah, so something that Patrick didn't mention or Steven mentioned yet was this is coming from the Xbox CFO, Tim Stewart, which I think is a second in charge? Maybe third?
Chief Financial Officer. He's in charge of money.
No.
In charge of money, okay.
No. Saif, it's really easy to remember it. So CEO, right? And then what comes after E? F. So CFO is second in command.
Holy fucking shit. Look at this businessman over here. You're wearing a suit,
But where does
aren't
that
you?
put COO?
Fucking bottom of the pile.
It makes me into
below
chickens.
CGO, I'll tell you what.
Nah, it makes me into chickens. Cool.
But yeah, he's quoted as saying he's quoted as saying that he wants a subscription service on every screen, and that means smart TVs, that means mobile devices, that means what we would have thought of us as competitors in the past, like PlayStation and Nintendo, and that's where the quote ends. Yeah, get Game Pass wherever they can.
I get that. Shut the fuck up. I get that it's a Microsoft thing, but it was kind of cool. I haven't activated it yet, but on the Ally, it did come with I think 1 to 3, I think it might be 1 month Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, whatever the highest one is, 1 month free.
Oh, don't use that. I've got a free month for free for you.
Okay, well now I have 2 months for free. The thing is, I have a while to use it before it expires, and I just don't think I'm going to use it enough in the next month to redeem it now. But it is kind of
gateway drug.
That's the thing, is that if I was ever on the fence and I enjoyed it, I would look back and say that it's because I got the free month on the ROG. That is the reason I'm now addicted to like crack cocaine.
Well, that's how I pretty much got started, because I remember, like, I think it was like 3.5 years ago, I'm like, this is dumb, I'm not going to subscribe to games, I'm just going to buy them.
And then you go to one VPN to Turkey, and then now all of a sudden...
No, I think someone, it was either like late 2019 or late 2020, I was like going through, I was moving house and I was going through all my shit. And like I found like 6 1-month codes or 6 3-month codes. Like, so I had like a bunch there. And I was like, look, I'll redeem one of them, see how it goes. And then I played a bunch of games. I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. I didn't have to buy any more games. And then my codes ran out, and I had to go to Turkey.
Are you ever?
Yeah, I had the opposite experience where I got 3 months because of having Discord Nitro, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll give it a try. There's a bunch of Xbox PC games I've been wanting to play for a while, like
Redfall.
No, not Redfall. This was a while ago, so this was all like Xbox One games. And then
wow, that's so old now. The Xbox One.
It has been like
maybe 10
3 years since
it
went
I thought you
out.
meant the original Xbox, the Xbox One.
No, I call that one the Xbox original.
The Xbox huge.
The Xbox retro.
Oh.
But anyway. So yeah, I was like, okay, here's a bunch of games I'll install. And it had to go through the Microsoft Store, and the Microsoft Store gave me issues where I like downloaded Halo, but then it's like, oh no, you can't play this, or you need to re-download it. So I couldn't launch it a couple of times. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I'm not going to bother with it. And then I didn't bother with the rest of the games, and I let the Xbox Game Pass expire. And I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem like a service I'm going to use, so I'm just not going to use it.
Steve, as someone who is now fully entrapped in Game Pass, has Humble Choice or Humble Bundle, whatever their subscription thing is, ever interested you?
It does. Every now and then I'll get served an ad, like someone will mention Humble Bundle, and then I'll click the link, and then I get served all these ads for the next 2 months. I don't. It would that kind of stuff would interest me. The only problem is that like my laptop it's struggling to run Discord, Chrome, and recording software at the moment. So I think
true.
It's either like it's like pick your choice, Western man. Stay with your console, or which I'm perfectly happy having the Xbox, or either spend a bit of money to sort of pretty much get a new laptop, or actually build a rig, which I'm not really. I don't really want to. I don't need to. Like I enjoy having the console on the couch. Like it'd probably if I ended up building a PC, I would reevaluate the need for Xbox Game Pass. Because it is Xbox Game Pass. Like it's like there is PC Game Pass, and the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate does transfer. I think it's 90% of the games over, which is good. But yeah, I am also playing up with getting a ROG Ally as well, or some sort of Steam Deck or something as well, because I do have a bunch of Steam games in my library, that they're not on Game Pass or anything, and yeah, there are some games that Xbox doesn't get, or Xbox Game Pass specifically doesn't. But yeah, but I get the feeling that everybody's got different opinions on like subscription services for games and that kind of stuff. Like every now and then we'll talk about how Xbox is like pulling a game from Game Pass that I really like. So a couple of weeks ago they pulled Persona 5 Royal, and I really, really wanted to play that. But we're pulling it in like 10 days, and it's a fucking 100-hour game. I can't finish that. So I kind of like, oh well, which means I'll probably have to buy that game, or I'll wait for it to come back. But yeah, I'm spoiled for choice.
Nice. Yeah. Anything more on this one from either of you?
Nah,
I'm good on it.
Cool. Well, funnily enough, that's actually what Phil Spencer said when we did ask him whether or not Game Pass would come to Nintendo platforms. He said there are no plans, and that he's good. Which rip CFO.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a whole lot more to add to this. It's just the quoted, "We have no plans to bring Game Pass to PlayStation and Nintendo. It's not in our plans." You heard it here first.
I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Very funny to see like one person at the Team Xbox say, "Yeah, we want this to happen," and then a couple of days later, Phil Spencer has to come out and go, "Actually, no, we don't want this to happen."
And then the big bad's like,
"No, that's not.
No,
that's not what they say. That's not what they say." He says there are no plans. He doesn't say he doesn't want it to happen. I think it's just more of like, oh,
it's just playing hard to get with
nobody
Nintendo.
Gets scared. It might be that. It might be there might be some agreements in the back end. They don't want to like spook the horses. But yeah, it looks pretty awkward when you have to walk back your CFO's comments.
Breaking news, guys! Breaking news! Thanks to VGC, I've seen that 30 minutes of Suicide Squad has leaked. And
do you have something to bring up about that?
There are so many jokes I wanted to make there. I'm not going to make any of them.
Put in gameplay on for a little bit. Oh boy, this does not look good.
Oh. Well, I guess I can't say I'm shocked. Is it a more time in the oven, or is it put it in the trash?
This is looking like a put it in the trash sort of game.
Ooh, rough.
I'm lucky they went back for 6 months.
I think they could have gone back for longer.
Yeah.
Imagine, you know how there was that whole, like, they did the revamped trailer and everything, and they're like, hey guys, we got it this time, trust us. Imagine at the end of that trailer it says coming summer 2025.
Boo.
Good. Yeah, I think that's it. Anything else that you want to touch on Suicide Squad stuff, or?
No, we can go back to making fun of Phil Spencer having to walk back his CFO's comments.
His former CFO.
Being promoted
he's been demoted to CGO, and the COO is now the CFO. You see how this works? Keep up, guys. I don't really have anything more to say, to be honest. Anything going once?
No,
going
I got
twice?
nothing. I got nothing.
Go 3 times.
Go 3 times, I will. Got nothing. Motto of the Xbox. Well, that brings us to the end of... It was to someone out there. Someone just slapped their knee in amusement. That brings us to the end of the news for this week. And that actually brings us to the end of episode 102, because we have no audience question this week. However, if there is an audience question you'd like us to answer, get in touch. We're on Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge. X, formerly Twitter, at Fast Travel Lounge minus one of the L's. Blue Sky. We're also got the old mailbag, fasttravellounge at gmail.com. If you've enjoyed this, giving us any kind of review or rating on the platform that you're listening to this on really helps spread the degeneracy around, especially if it's a negative rating, because we will bully Steve with it when we read them out later on. Anything we want to tease? Anything we want to tease for next week? I will probably wrap up my streaming roundup if I finish on 100, and I guess the Squid Game challenge or whatever bullshit else happens to be on. I don't know. I'm gonna get to games this week. We got work hackathon. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Next couple days. It's like a tools down. Work on just side projects, but like for work, but like not your normal work for work. It's really fun. It's my favorite event of the year. Like work event of the year. I'm not that sad. So yeah, probably not a huge amount of time for games. That's me anyway. Steve, anything on the cards for you?
I've been playing Jusant. A nice little indie game about climbing. Jusant. Speaking of Game Pass, it's a game that I found through Game Pass. Well, I didn't find it through Game Pass. I got recommended to me, but it's on Game Pass. That's a neat little game. I think it's only like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm pretty sure I'm halfway through it. But yeah, it's a video game.
It is indeed. Saif.
No idea. I'm still busy working on back-end stuff for the podcast. Still got to get last week's episode out as well, because the back-end stuff has delayed that edit. I foresee that I will be exclusively working on podcast things until the next episode recording.
And we love that you do it out of the goodness of your heart and for no monetary gain at all.
You're truly a king among kings.
I'm gonna send a bill to your mother's credit card.
You might even be a king of queens if you would.
If you think about it, Saif is kind of like the Game Pass of podcasts.
I don't know where you're going with that.
Elaborate? No, he's not going to elaborate. That's fine. you get that. You get that on the big jobs. Actually, speaking of, I'm going to Sydney on the weekend. I better download some things to do on the old switcheroo.
Might I recommend Sweet Game, like everyone else on the fucking planet is playing?
Oh, is it that weird fruit game?
Yeah, that's the weird fruit game. You know the one.
Yeah, I've seen it. Apparently, it's okay.
I'm sure it is, but just I can't imagine spending hours of time on that. It's 2048, but with fruit. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
What are you up to, Pat?
What?
Oh, you're already doing streaming stuff. Sorry, you said. Sorry. I forgot. I got so excited.
I appreciate the thought, and that it sounded so interesting. You want me to say it again, but yeah, work hackathon and streaming. Got finishing off a couple of the seasons. Blah blah blah. That's me. Anyway. Right. Well. I guess that's what you have to look forward to in big old episode 103 from your favorite podcast, Fast Travel Lounge. But until then, I've been Patrick. I'm joined by Saif and Steve. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Happy birthday, Banjo Kazooie. Doodle, 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 doodle. Everybody look at the soundtrack.